Alright, so, yeah, I did not make a thumbnail yet for this picture. I just decided just to make this video. Like, I literally just decided to make it. I'm gonna make a thumbnail probably sometime later. But, yeah, this was on my mind. Um, and, well, I decided to be like, hey, let's just get on with this. Because I'm gonna have to explain some stuff first. So, let's get into that real quick. So, this is the ending of DMC, well, Devil May Cry 5. And the fact is, the reasons why it's just Dante is because this is, well, Naruto becomes Dante. Sort of. But actually, you can say he becomes him. You'll understand after I explain it. I was given an idea by someone for a Bell What If, and I'm gonna make that one. But I just need to figure out how to do it. But yeah, I kind of have a concept for it. Anyways, back to this one. So, we all know the ending of DMC. Dante and Virgil are in the underworld. Well, HE double hockey sticks. And, well, actually, you know what? I don't care for the moment. Basically, they're in hell. Underworld, hell, whatever. Basically, they've been there for so long, they didn't even know. Like, for them, it's probably been maybe what they've been thinking only like 20 years. But no, it's been thousands of years. To the point where the shinobi world took over. The whole entire world that basically they knew was gone because of a crisis, a war basically. And yeah. So the shinobi world came into play. But it basically comes into play when Virgil leaves hell. Reasons how? Well, Dante and Virgil finally decided to stop fighting for once and just try to get out of it, basically where they are. And that took up a lot of energy and their time. And they've been battling and, killing demons. Well, they've been battling themselves. They've been killing demons while doing it. So, in a sense, an act of bravery and at least saving his brother this time instead of letting him fall, Dante basically does split off basically Sparta, the sword, and the rebellion apart. Rebellion's fixed somehow, basically, and he threw basically rebellion along with ebony and ivory into the portal. Those basically go somewhere else. Virgil's looking at Dante and be like, Dante, what are you doing? Which basically Dante is smirking at Virgil. He goes like, well, Virg, one of us got to get out of here, and you need to go. You got a kid and basically a grandkid on the way maybe by now. You gotta meet them. Which basically Virgil's like, Dante, we can get out of here because the whole entire reason why Dante is making this sacrifice because a horde of demons are coming towards them as Dante's looking at the horde of demons as Virgil basically still looking at them as Dante then says when he looks at him, he goes like, nah, Virg, I can't. Someone has to hold them off. Don't know how long the portal will be open for. So, don't want basically those ugly bastards get into basically the human world. As basically give us basically the sort of Sparta to Virgil. As he goes, Dante? As then he grabs Virgil by the shoulder, gripping, and he goes like, whatever you do, don't basically ever think about coming back for me. Live your life, Virgil. Live it. Enjoy it for once. And don't basically be all, cold-hearted. As Virgil's about to make a retort, as he throws Virgil right into the portal, as Virgil sees Dante, get into a battle stance, as he basically, has all his other basically devil arms with him. But the fact is, he basically has the devil arm from DMC5 that are basically the fists and the boots. I think it's Diablo. I don't have DMC5 on right now, so I just made this and it's like nighttime, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna, look it up, but yeah, so in a sense, Dante basically says, "Alright, you demon scums, let's dance." And he just runs towards them. Basically, going out fighting demons. What happens to Virgil? Simple. He gets out of the portal right when the Jubi and Kaguya are battling Hagoromo and his brother. And in that instance, when basically Hagoromo basically jumped away, the Ten Tails basically was trying to, eat basically Hagoromo as it ate Virgil instead. And, well, they did not know. But Virgil was weakened to the point even his, basically Devil Gene couldn't prevent him from being absorbed by the body. So everything happens from canon. Hagoromo takes the Jubi's, chakra, and the body's, up at the moon. But the fact is, Virgil and the Sword of Sparta became a part, the Sword of Sparta became a part of Virgil. And Virgil became a part of the Jubi. So technically, he's now a part of the chakra. Making him basically the first Ten Tails, Hagoromo becoming, the first Jinchuriki. And over the years, when, he basically finds out about Virgil, for basically, I would say, there are basically memories popping in from time to time from Hagoromo over the years. So he knows about Virgil and what happened between the two brothers and what, happened to, Dante and now Virgil. So, when the all-tailed beasts were born, Hagoromo basically found the consciousness of Virgil. And he made him into the, nine-tailed fox. Before he basically made any other tail beast, he explained to Virgil after he gained consciousness what happened, and basically he let whatever power he had to be dormant within him. He has to gain enough power to basically become into his human form. Becoming his half-devil form, basically. Which Virgil would just say, human-looking form. Which Hagoromo just nods to that. So in a sense, Virgil did ask No to allow him, after he becomes human, to, if there's anything that would affect him in this world, to, his devil blood, to get rid of it, as Hagoromo does. So, after that, everything from there in the Naruto universe goes to canon. Now though, this is a long explanation, but the fact is, I'm also basically I didn't want to say, this is part 1 of what if Naruto became Dante. You kind of figure that much. So I just kind of go into the story, really. So don't worry. So we go to when the day Naruto was born. Everything goes to canon, Kurama is sealed, and basically the chakra from basically Virgil, I say Kurama because I'm so used to it, but Kurama Virgil, his basically chakra gets stealed and put into Minato and all of that, and he gets sealed into Naruto. There is basically a small problem for Naruto in this what if. Hiruzen promised Kushina that he would take care of Naruto. But in actuality, since I've been kind of wanted to do something like this for a while, and I thought there was no perfect opportunity to do it. I didn't think of how could I do this. Could I stomach myself from doing this? Not until now, actually, so I was like, perfect chance. So, what happened to baby Naruto? Basically, Hiruzen, the council, civilians, basically the ninja council, want to basically hinder Naruto, want to make him their weapon. And so they put, from basically when Naruto was born, a loyalty seal. Hiruzen basically wanted to make it where what happens to him through his, what they will call a, how should I say, training for him. Yes, I know it sounds horrible. Basically, because we know what the villagers may do in canon, like they may be mobs and such happen to him, but not in canon. That does not happen, only in fanfics, I think. But they ignored him in canon, or pushed him out and such, so we only assume. But in this case, he does get attacked by the villagers, and this is considered basically when he is basically at the age where Hiruzen thought would be good to start his training, become loyal to Konoha. And the manipulation starts. So, Hiruzen approved of these seals at the meeting. Loyalty seal. Basically, limited knowledge seal. Limited potential. Limited reaction time. Limits reaction time and such. Basically, brain capacity. Basically, potential seals basically off. Any Kekai Genkai sealed off. To be fair, he's an Uzumaki, so he should have had the chakra chains. And any other basically seals that they would have basically thought that would help hinder Naruto. There are a few people that basically on the council that disagreed with this. One was Suma Inuzuka. 2. Shibi Aburame. 3. Shikaku Nara. And surprisingly, on the civilian council, I would say it's, well, not Higarashi's, not the Higurashi family, but I would say it's, for this case, I actually want to just have one civilian, so I'm trying to come up with, what would be a good person that would be there? I guess I always make it Sakura Haruno's mom, Mibuki Haruno, but gotta think on this real quick. Yeah, it's Mibuki Haruno, Sakura's mom. I would say she's in charge of basically at least education. For the shinobi. Basically, shinobis that basically, can't handle, students that can't handle becoming a shinobi, so they become a civilian, so the civilian school, she's in charge of it. Which, everyone voted for Naruto to have all these hindrance seals, and yeah, they were outvoted. And, well, Danzo basically helps, along with basically Hiruzen's knowledge, and Jiraiya's. Some seals were basically made from the Yamanaka clan, which Inoichi Yamanaka does not hate the boy, but he basically believes it's better to have Naruto limited because of who his father is. the reason why they say they need to make Naruto a weapon, and basically for Konoha, he basically did not reveal Naruto's heritage, but he did say he is Kushina Uzumaki's son. And just that, but some people that knew Kushina Minato knew who Naruto is, but yeah, fear and want to protect their children and family and all that. Yeah, they basically were okay with sacrificing Naruto in any way possible. Besides the three shinobis I mentioned, and one councilman on the civilian side. Now, years pass, and Naruto is treated, well, for the first, I would say, 6 years of his life, he's okay. People ignore him or glare at him, call him demon brat behind his back, and when he hit 7 years old, Hiruzen did not allow basically the mob to get him, on his birthday at least, which Danzo basically said it, should have happened as soon as possible, but he wanted the boy to basically wanted to see how well the loyalty seal is, and basically they did add basically more seals. Well, they added the seals over time. The loyalty seal was put on right away, but then more seals were put on as he grew, especially when his chakra came out. Danzo thought personality seal would be good, so he had that on when he was like 3 years old. So technically, Naruto has no personality at all. What he has is basically due to the loyalty seal. So the go-lucky, happy Naruto that we know in canon is a fake. Nothing. Nada. Not even the real Naruto. He has no personality. He's basically like a blank slate. And so, due to this, basically, Hiruzen has not thought about anything, of his guilt or such, or if he even had any. But when he allowed basically the very first attack to ever happen to Naruto by the civilians, what he saw was not what he expected. He expected his ninjas to come when the boy was near death, or before it became too far, his Anbu. But no, they literally got in there when he was basically on the brink, on the very tippy scale of death, to save him, and a small amount of guilt came into Hiruzen's heart. But he immediately squashed that away, but every single time when Naruto kept on getting beatings, and he basically had to lay down some laws and such. He did also lay down the law about no, basically, child or the younger generation shall know about the QB sealed inside Naruto. He did do that. That was the one thing that basically the council agreed to have. Just give me a minute real quick. Sorry, had to sneeze. So, we basically, though, have Hiruzen doing the one thing, though. He never wanted to have Naruto get anything from Kushina, Minato, and such. And the council, basically, the civilians wanted to get authorized to those accounts, along with basically Jiraiya wanted, at least to be able to get some, money out of the account, but Hiruzen did not allow it. Reasons why. Because he couldn't. Basically, there was a note to say to anyone who tried to get access to the Namikaze Uzumaki's account, basically could not be able to access it. Which basically shocked Jiraiya, as he says there should be a seal on it, which Hiruzen says is basically in Fire Country. As he says, this to Jiraiya after he's in shock, goes like, Minato foresaw something happening in the future if he ever dies. So, he had a basically seal that would notify the daimyo, and basically let him know when him and Kushina are dead. So then Jiraiya says, so that means the daimyo is in charge of the accounts He goes, yes. And I basically am also was just told about, I would say, 5 hours ago. I was confused by when a messenger hawk from the fire daimyo came in and saying he is sending someone here to have the Namikaze's estate closed. Which Jiraiya is basically double shot, and he goes, so wait, you mean to tell me the village cannot use any basically Minatos and Kushina's basically seals or ninjutsus or which Hiruzen does not, but on the and he looks basically with a passive face, but on the inside he's actually grinning. He's actually says, "Well played, Minato and Kushina. Well played. I believe you actually did not trust this village. I cannot blame you." As Minato, who was Hokage, already knew the dark secrets, it must have been when he found out that there were some things that the Hidden Leaf has done. As he basically does not, he does not curse Minato or Kushina. He's not basically cursed them out in his head or basically, he's actually just still impressed by them. So, after that, Jiraiya basically, is just mad, but also, understands. Danzo's pissed. But, for the help with the funds that Naruto's been, his basically orphan funds he's been getting, Hiruzen just sighs and actually, when Naruto needed them badly, he actually does sigh and be like, I cannot believe I'm gonna do this to our weapon, but he does need a place to live. And he has a place to live because I gave him one, and he does need money. So, when Hiruzen was basically bringing an envelope full of money, he saw the state of Naruto's home, and he knows how Jinchurikis are treated, but basically, the home was completely trashed. I mean, trashed, like, not even basically the worst type of enemy Hiruzen would want, like, he would never want Orochimaru to live in this area type of, life. Which, Hiruzen was shocked, and, because he sees Naruto just in basically part of a bed that was just there, just, sleeping on it, and it wasn't even enough for Naruto's whole entire body. And Hiruzen actually feels anger towards this. And even though all the ninjas and everyone hates Naruto, some Anbu come and they see this place, and one of them says not Kakashi, but Yugao. And basically some other members of the Anbu actually see this, and they are completely shocked. So, yes, Hiruzen basically takes Naruto, brings him basically to Ichiraku's, which the Ichiraku, as soon as they see Naruto, they never saw the, they already met Naruto already at one point out, but they're not part of basically Naruto, being betrayed by them or, only see him as a weapon or a monster. Which, when Tucci and Ayame see Hiruzen, well, Ayame's a kid, but when Tucci sees Hiruzen basically sees a knife pointed at him by Tucci, and basically some killer tent. As you basically have a flashback of where Tucci basically was called by Hiruzen. As they're in the office, as Tucci goes, "What? You want me to basically even hinder that boy more?" Which, basically, Hiruzen's, raised up an eyebrow, goes like, "Hinder? Tucci? More? I don't know what you basically," which Tucci then slams his fist on the ground, well, not on the ground, the table, goes like, "I know what you're doing, Hiruzen. You forgot I'm an ex-ninja? Besides, I know a seal, or basically a seal circuit when I see one." Which Hiruzen's eyes narrow, so he goes, "So you are not going to limit the boy?" which basically Tucci goes like, "You order me again to do this. I don't care who you are. But I would basically use the steel Kushina gave me on the emergency. I'll bring out her shadow clone. And I'll tell her everything that this village has done to her son. So order me again, Hiruzen. I dare you. I'll not basically hinder that boy." Got it. As that made Hiruzen's eyes widen and a little bit of sweat going down his face because he could basically see Tucci's, serious. As then, basically though, while Tucci's on the way out, he goes, "Oh yeah, Hiruzen, you're banned from my basically stand." As that shocked him, as Tucci slammed the door when leaving. As Inu, aka Kashi, came out of the shadows, he was like, "Lord Hokage, should I execute him for threatening you?" Which Hiruzen sighs, goes, "No, don't. He has a card in his hand that I did not know. But he is basically a chef, so, and it is his stand. He'll allow anyone to eat. Let him be." So yeah, so basically, Tucci, we go back out of the flashback now where Tucci's basically saying, "I thought I told," as then he sees Naruto basically, he goes, he's wondering why Hiruzen has Naruto in his hands, or arms, and then Hiruzen sighs and be like, well, he just says to him, "I believe the boy did not have anything to eat for the whole day." Which his eyes widen and basically, because one, he called him boy and not, brat or demon, and basically he just nods and start making ramen as he puts Naruto, well, he's about to put Naruto on basically the seats, as Ayame basically comes over and takes Naruto and brings him in the back for him to lay down. As Hiruzen just stays there and basically, Yugao comes back and he says, "Cat," which Tucci can hear, basically, Hiruzen talking to this Ambu. She goes, "Yes, third Hokage." He goes, "Did you find the people who destroyed Naruto's home?" Which she does not. He goes, "Good. Send them to basically Ibiki and then have him execute them after they get out all the information they can on who basically gave them the idea to do this. I want the boy to become a weapon and basically be trained, but treated less than trash." Which Yugao just nods slowly, as basically after Tucci basically is making, busy making the ramen, he hears basically Hiruzen just sighs and says, "I'm getting too old for this." As in, Tucci snorts at that. He goes like, "You basically are too old for it, Hokage. Besides, I didn't know you start caring about the boy, about Naruto." Which Hiruzen just makes a scowl. He was like, "The boy will still be this village weapon, but I was okay with basically limiting him and basically have him basically beat it into his head that basically this village is his home and we will protect him as a manipulation, but I never wanted this to escalate to where he is treated as then Chi-Chi finishes, says, like an animal," which he nods. Which basically Chi-Chi stays quiet for a few minutes and he goes like, "I thought you wanted the boy not to have emotions like that, by that basically Warhawk wants." Which I would say, but Hiruzen does stay quiet and says, then thinks about it, how to say this. He wouldn't say this. He goes, "I want the boy to have emotions, even if they may be fake. So, I'll do whatever I can to keep his loyalty to the village. This is one step of it." As Tucci just sighs and just thinks and says, "You old fool. You don't know basically the old saying, never keep an Uzumaki down and never try to control them. They always have a funny way how to basically break your plans." So yeah, so that's how Naruto's life was. The villagers' attacks on him became less frequent, And none on his birthdays. Danzo actually saw the place that he lived in, because it was also going to be furnished by the Anbu was helping as he agreed to this. And saying basically even his root basically are not, he's not treated his root like this as their weapon. He should basically be treated a little bit with a decent living space. Which are and nods and such. So yeah. So Aruka does see the boy as, does see Naruto, not as the fox, but, as Naruto. But at the exact same time, he doesn't know about the seals or anything else, so he thinks this is Naruto. He accepted Naruto for him as exactly the same thing with Mizuki and Aruka happens, and he does say Naruto is the a ninja of the hidden leaf, and basically Naruto uses Shadow Clone Jutsu. Kakashi hates Naruto, but does the battle tests and can't wait for Naruto to die on a mission. So the whole entire wave mission was for Naruto to die, but instead, this is where the wave mission, where Haku and Naruto basically fought. The Nine-Tails chakra is basically, coming around, Naruto basically off his body a little bit. Then it slowly disappears when it's, it's revealed it's Haku. What happens next is very simple. We have someone waking up. Someone, basically, or should I say something, waking up basically behind a cage, opening up his crimson red eyes. He goes, 13 years I've watched this kid basically go through a little gauntlet from those villagers, and then this, and he finally uses my power. I gotta work fast and break that seal on his neck. It'll break everything else if I overwhelm basically those circuits of seals. As basically Kurama Virgil is now starting to, slowly break the basically loyalty seal on his neck. Yeah, on his neck basically. So the whole entire thing with Zabuza happens and, basically, and Naruto, Zabuza kills Gato, and after Naruto puts the thumbs up, he basically collapsed due to chakra exhaustion. As Kakashi catches Naruto, and he's actually kind of confused because of that he never had any chakra exhaustion before, but then he remembers about the QB chakra, and then he's, mentally glaring at Naruto, basically saying, basically, I should really be not helping this demon, but I can't basically do anything I can't do anything to him while everyone's here. I bet there's going to be someone basically looking out for him when we get back to the house. Who knows? So, after that, he basically sees Sasuke still alive and such. The burial happens, and the great Naruto bridge, was born and such. But no one knew this. While Naruto was knocked out for 2 days, the seal was slowly breaking. Naruto became slowly less and less like himself until they get back to Konoha. After that, Virgil basically finally says, it's time. I'm sick of this. And immediately a red flash happens inside basically the mindscape. Virgil made it where Naruto would not feel any of the pain that would have happened. So, basically, that's why Naruto never screamed. Kakashi never finds out. I mean, he would have, but Naruto was so exhausted, he was knocked out. And Virgil kept him knocked out. So yeah, so that's another reason why too. So while the glow is happening and basically Kurama, or in this case Virgil's fox form is shrinking, Virgil basically now still has his silver white hair, but with red tips in it. Basically, his red eyes, from being the QB, will not be there because his normal eyes, but it will happen when he's enraged. And he has basically now his blue jacket now is red, but he has basically black pants, black, basically boots on, holding, Yamato. Basically, Virgil looks at his jacket. By the way, everything else is just exactly the way he had from DMC 5. The jacket, though, is the only thing that's, red. So he's looking at himself and goes like, now, let's see what my demonic power can do. As he basically closes his eyes and allows his demonic energy to roll around him, and he basically finds about because he knows about the Sharingan, so he also knew about the Rinnegan, so he gets rid of that weakness so it never happens again. And so he nods to himself, and, while this was happening, Naruto is basically in the village. He's looking with a blank stare like he has no life in him, as, everyone's kind of confused, including Sakura and Sasuke. And, Kakashi's just thinking finally the demon brat broke. So, when they basically are getting close to the Hokage Tower, Virgil basically puts his hand onto the wall and such and flood the whole entire mindscape with demonic energy. Along with basically, his red chakra. The seal cannot basically prevent this, so it can prevent the Nine-Tails chakra from going out into basically his mindscape and such. But since it's mixed with demonic energy, it doesn't stop it. It just passes right through as he basically sees the boy's blood, gene pool. As when he basically finds out that, basically who Naruto is to him, because he wanted to know how can the boy basically hold him back, even though he's an Uzumaki, which he knew from, Mito about it. It still should have been impossible, at least to some degree. So when he finds out, enrages him. As a whole entire wild of killer tent happens, as he says, he's my grandson's descendant. As then he punches the wall as it cracks, and he basically is looking at the gate. He goes, I do not care. I will not allow basically my great grandson to be treated like this anymore. He grabs Yamato, and because of his whole entire amount of basically hate that's in him, and he does have that cold demeanor, but since he's easily being enraged by this, point, being Kurama for so long, he basically sliced through the gate, destroying the seal, and immediately flood again the whole entire mindscape, and gave Naruto a personality, one that he thinks would suit him. He doesn't want Naruto to be cold like him. He doesn't want Naruto to forgive the people. He wants, Naruto to basically get some sort of revenge on them. But he wants Naruto to have a personality. Something that basically can be serious, but yet playful. As in he's thinking, though, of Dante as he smirks and he goes, let's see if this village can handle, basically, a new descendant of Sparta. As he's basically now awakening Naruto's devil blood, slowly making into a half-devil, by also, though, inserting, basically, Dante's personality. From, basically, how he knows his brother is. And that's slowly taking effect, but it's good enough to basically, for Naruto to basically have no, basically dull eyes and such, and actually gain a smirk on Naruto. As they, enter the Hokage's office, and enter basically, the Hokage building, and then the office. As they give the report to Hiruzen, basically, Hiruzen says, Naruto, my boy, is everything alright? He goes like, sure thing, old timer. Everything's fine. Which basically that makes everyone blink. He goes, Naruto, you're not calling me old man. He goes like, what's the difference? You're old, you're old. I mean, I can call you old man, old timer. So, I guess you're right though. Want to try something new at least. As then basically Naruto basically just has a little grin on his face when he said that. As Hiruzen blinks as Kakashi basically looks at Naruto and can see his whole entire relaxed, basically demeanor, and he basically says to himself in his head he wasn't like this before, as he wasn't like this before, as also Sakura and Sasuke are a little bit puzzled by this. Oh yeah, by the way, Hinata still likes Naruto, but yeah, I don't think Dante and Naruto would like Hinata, so don't know who to basically have if I'm gonna give this a ship. Don't know who to make it. Comments? If you guys suggestions? So yeah. So after basically that little after that what happened, Hiruzen says, alright, Team 7, I want only your sensei to be here as I want to talk to him in private. You may go. As Naruto goes, puts up 2 fingers to his head, like, alright, old man, see ya. As then he, walks out, opens up the door and walks out. As Sasuke and Sakura basically leave, as basically Hiruzen then, gets serious, goes, tell me what happened to Naruto. As basically when Kakashi sighs, he goes, alright, I'll tell you what happened. Basically. As then he starts. So, when Naruto gets out of basically the Hokage building, Sasuke basically goes to Uchiha compound while Sakura follows him. Naruto's walking back to his place, because I forgot to mention Hiruzen gave them their pay, or said they would be in their accounts. Which Naruto always gets gypped anyway, so yeah. But anyways, as Naruto's walking along, basically, back to his home, he hears a voice telling him, run, leave this village. It's holding you back. You need to get out of here, for your own safety. As Naruto stops and basically looks around and gets serious, and the villagers actually, kind of see the serious look on his face as Naruto says in his head, because for some reason he's able to figure this out now. He goes like, who are you? As he hears a voice, he goes, I know you don't need to trust me after everything you've been through, but I need you to leave. This village is going to basically stunt your growth, and basically you don't have much time since your basically sensei may tell him what's been happening to you. As he goes, like what? It was a loyalty seal was put on you at the day of your birth. As Naruto's basically eyes widen, he goes, loyalty seal? What's that? He goes, a seal that basically makes someone be loyal to something. Say, it gives it a certain command. Basically, be loyal to the village. Don't attack them. As Naruto basically then, scowls at that, he goes like, so no matter how much I wanted to attack, I chose not to, was because of that? He goes, yes. Now, get out of the village. There's some things basically you need to get. And there's some things that are going to happen to you that this village cannot basically get in the way of stopping. Which Naruto thinks to himself, I can't believe I'm going to trust a voice in my head. Am I going crazy? As the voice replies quickly, no. At least not yet. Which Naruto rolls his eyes. So, Naruto basically, still has his pack on. And, well, this is very simple. He's almost close to his apartment, but then he hears a whole bunch of footsteps. As Naruto basically, turns around and he sees a whole bunch of villagers and some shinobis in basically the crowd. As basically one of them says, we're here to finally end you, you demon brat. You're going to die for what you did to our village. Which Naruto basically rolls his eyes and then basically puts a hand on his side. while he basically, scratching his head with one finger, he goes, you know, just because you basically think I'm the QB doesn't mean I am. I mean, would I not attack you when I was younger when you guys were basically beating me to near death? Or would I basically attack anyone basically by killing them? Basically, if someone basically threw me out of a store? You guys really think I'm basically a big giant fox. I mean, how can I be a massive fox that was turned small into a baby? Which one of them basically is glaring at him. And he says, it doesn't matter, as Naruto just sighs and be like, man, you guys are way more stupid than children when it comes to food. Oh well, looks like I gotta take out the trash. As Naruto gets into a fighting stance, as everyone's kind of surprised by this, and he goes, I'm a ninja now. I mean, just because you guys basically have weapons in your hands doesn't mean I can't defend myself. After all, you've got some ninjas there, so self-defense. As one of the ninjas came out of that crowd and smirked, I was like, it doesn't matter what you do. You'll still get punished for this. So, are you really going to attack us, demon brat? As the guy has a cocky smirk on his hand, as Naruto says, oh no, whatever shall I do? The big bad ninja is going to basically tell the Hokage that I basically defended myself from about 40, 50, 70 people and 2 ninjas. Like, how's that gonna look? Well, I mean, the old man never really did anything to you guys at all, so gotta do everything myself. Now then, though, time basically to show you basically what a one-man army looks like. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu! As then Naruto basically makes the hand sign for the Shadow Clone as, well, imagine the Mizuki basically, fight where Naruto has all those Shadow Clones around him. Basically, and then there's like the ninja, the civilian are there as there's a whole entire puff of smoke. As Naruto just smirks at them, he goes like, there's numbers, basically, you have and I have. I think basically the bigger one's gonna win, don't you think? As he says with basically a little grin on his face, as someone says, are you making fun of us? He goes, no, I'm not making fun of you, besides your pea-sized brain. But I mean, your wife probably does that enough to you already. As everyone is just completely shocked by that, the civilians that are not gonna try to attack Naruto, I think Naruto would hear like, okay, I hate the kid, but that was a good roast. As he hears another person that agrees with it. So, he goes, boys, let loose the fury! And basically he says, ninja style! As, well, everyone here says, yosh! Or, basically, let's get the party started. And they jump into the fray, while the sea of clones are running towards said ninjas and villagers. Naruto runs, basically, out of that crowd towards the gate that he was basically gonna go to with chakra, as basically, when he leaves immediately, it was a good enough distraction because no one was basically focusing on him. And, yeah, so basically, while Kakashi and Hiruzen were talking, they heard the commotion outside, and they ran over. They see a sea of they see a sea of Naruto clones attacking civilians, and basically 2 ninjas. As Hiruzen's in shock, and he says, basically Anbu over there, he goes, Anbu! Basically, fight off, find the real Naruto by getting rid of the clones. As they do so. But while that is happening, the clones are basically moving a little bit faster than basically normal. Dodging some attacks from basically civilians as punching them. As it's not being easy for basically the civilians or those 2 ninjas that are Chunin. But the Anbu are having an easy time basically killing off the clones, but because there are so many, it does take a while. After the sea of clones are basically gone, they find Naruto not there. And that's when Hiruzen basically realized he used this as a cover to get out of the village. Well, or to hide. As then he basically, basically looks at Kakashi and says, get people to make a tracking team to go after Naruto if he's outside the village before we look for him inside. Which Kakashi understands and does so. While Naruto is running, he's thinking to himself, man, those stupid villagers and ninjas did not know what hit them. It felt really good on getting basically those beaten in on them. Wait, how do I even know that? As basically he hears a voice saying, don't think, move. I'll tell you where to go, but here's some help. As then basically Naruto feels a rush of chakra that he felt before, but it's not that basically big enough to basically influence him or, just make his eyes slits. And then he just starts running faster now by enhancing it with chakra. So, he will basically run all the way back to Wave. Because Virgil basically is telling him that he sent something near Wave Country. Basically near, I would say, near basically the town you're at. While this is happening though, inside the seal, Virgil's waiting for someone while he's talking to Naruto while he has both of his hands on top of basically the butt of the sword. Basically, as when he basically, looking just straight forward, someone or something's appearing. The Shinigami. As Virgil just looks at it and raises up an eyebrow and goes like, so you are the Shinigami. Not impressive. Which the Shinigami, says in a raspy voice, and says, you, how are you the same, yet you're not? Which he goes, oh, because I'm a tailed beast. Simple put, I am basically Virgil Sparta. I am basically a half-devil between a mortal woman and basically a devil. Some seal like that would not hold me if I was in this form. As the basic Shinigami look at him scowling as he says, it does not matter. You need to go back. As before he can do anything, the Shinigami gets a cut on its face as its eyes widen. It was like, you are not a true death god. You're only a seal that was basically summoned. Tell whoever is basically the ruler of, what they call Yomi at this point in time, that Virgil Sparta has returned to the world, and he's not leaving this time around. And I'd like to have half of my chakra back. As before he can, the Shinigami could even say anything, all of a sudden the killer tendon power radiates off of Virgil, basically, literally scares the Shinigami. As he basically takes out Minato, and then basically takes out basically the other half of basically his, himself, and gives it basically to Virgil. And before anything can happen, before Minato could do anything, someone with red hair came out of nowhere and caught it, and basically, lands right in front of basically Virgil and the Shinigami. And then she turns around and looks at, Virgil with a glare, goes like, how? How are you even like this, QB? Which he raises up an eyebrow, he goes like, oh, the little firecracker. Simple put, I was never basically a fox to begin with. I'm a devil. Not basically beat you until the Ten Tails ate me. And I'd like to have my chakra back, thank you very much. As he suddenly disappears before their eyes, and he basically grabs it and absorbs it. As when he makes a sigh, he goes like, feels whole. Now I can control my temper better. As Kushina is in shock, and she goes, how were you able to move that quickly? Like I said, I'm a devil. I'm better than you ninjas. You would have lost to me, Minato, if basically I was even, well, even in control of myself, as I was going to turn to basically my normal form, instead of my furry one. I hate being basically a massive amount of chakra. It gets annoying at times when people want your power. Which just shocks Minato. He was like, you're the QB? He goes, of course. Why would I be in the seal then? And you? Basically, Kushina just says, me? Because basically the power increase and it's radiating off of Virgil as he's bringing it, down. It was, I want to make a proposition for you. Which he goes, huh? Which the Shinigami's just there watching this, and Minato's just actually even curious too. She goes, what do you mean? He goes, as then Virgil says, what would you like to do to basically actually raise your boy, your son? She basically blinks, and then she gets a glare on her face. She goes, I can't go back into my body since I've been dead. He goes, yes, but with my chakra return, I can make you a new body and put your soul into it. Exactly how it was when you died. Which she basically blinks as the Shinigami goes, you have a creation of all things? Which, well, Virgil does smirk. He goes, my old friend Hagoromo basically taught me how much, to my amusement. And that basically is something I could be proud of saying, I was at least one of the beings who knew this technique. So yes, I basically can use that technique because of my massive amount of my chakra. But in a sense, though, I also basically give you make you a half devil. When she blinks and she goes, wait, a devil? Which Virgil says, I'll explain to you later, Kushina Uzumaki. This is a limited time offer. The only reason why I'm saying this is because I want my great-grandson to have a mother. And to not have a father that basically damned him to basically a life of torture and basically being turned into a weapon. As then he glares at Minato, as Minato goes like, wait, what? The village is not... Which Virgil just says in a cold tone. He goes like, of course they did not listen to you. This is the ninja world. They will basically see something with power, and they want to use that power for their own. But they made the one mistake that they should never have done. Which, including the Shinigami, was curious as Kushina asks, what was that? As he basically says, they made my grandson into their weapon. And as Sparta never becomes the weapon of someone else, we control our own destiny and fate. As basically he says it with anger and determination and authority, plus power again, then radiates off of him. As basically Kushina Minato's basically eyes widen when they say great-grandson and descendant of Sparta, which Kushina goes like, who, which which basically Virgil looks at her and goes, speak, Uzumaki. She basically, calms herself down a bit, and she goes, you're saying basically our son, mine and Minato's, is your great-grandson? He goes, yes, the devil blood within him was very weak. I'm surprised, though, it basically was that strong, though. It was very potent after I started to, while he's running at this moment, to basically bring it out to make it where it's full, he's a full half-devil. Which Minato was like, you're changing him into something that's not human? Which, basically, Minato basically glares at, Virgil. I see Virgil just says, to be fair, you basically are human, while your basically wife wasn't. And no, I am not talking about specifically you as a Jinchuriki. She goes, wait, are you saying you... Which basically, Virgil goes, oh no, because, honest to truth, you should be a devil. But you're really not. That's the scary part. Which I approve of. Which she's like, huh? Unfortunately, this man is basically one of my descendants, one of my grandchildren. How a disappointment. Which basically that caught the Shinigami off guard a bit as Minato goes, "Wait, what? Why?" He goes, "You put your trust into that village. And I am very disappointed that you were willing to do that. Even believing basically your son would have, been treated as a hero." Such a waste of potential and intelligence. I cannot believe basically. I blame basically whoever raised you, but since you're an orphan like basically Naruto, I can't. I blame your own incompetence and trust in the village. Which that makes Minato basically angry as Naruto is still running. He's basically getting closer and closer to the wave because he's using Kyuubi's chakra. His body is basically being enhanced also by Virgil for this action to basically make his devil blood, come more and more. I would say it's only about 20%. By the time he gets basically to what Virgil wants Naruto to get, he will become a full half-blooded devil. So, very simple. Minato looks at Kushina, and basically then he looks back at Virgil as Virgil's looking at Kushina. He goes, "So, my offer is this. I, Virgil of Sparta, Otosuki, will give you a new body and transfer your soul into that body. But in return, you have to raise Naruto with my help." Well, in a sense, I basically become, the father of Naruto. As that caught, Kushina basically off guard and backs up a bit. She goes, What? Me? You? A couple? Husband and wife?" Which Virgil says it's on paper, or in terms of he'll call us father and mother. We'll explain it to him because of his intelligence from basically Blondie over there that's being held by the Shinigami seal. A seal, a seal version of an actual Shinigami. Which basically Kushina's like, "Wait, so we won't be?" Virgil says, "You've been basically keeping me chained onto a basically sun for who knows how long, and treat me as just a beast. Do you really think I would want to be with someone that was my jailer?" She goes, Which Virgil says, "No, but for the sake of basically my grandson, I would do anything to help him, since the life he had has been horrible." Which Minato says, it couldn't have been that bad, as not even basically, I would say, a second after he finished those words, a projection sword, or light sword appeared in midair and shot towards Minato as it just grazed his cheek. He goes, "Do not speak to me, boy." As Kushina goes, what happened to my baby?" As he sighs and says, "Follow me, and do not worry about your chakra. Since I'm flooding this basically whole entire place with chakra, you'll be able to keep yourself sustained here. Shinigami, bring basically the useless idiot." As Shinigami just sighs and be like, "I may be a sealed version of I may be a sealed Shinigami, but I don't get paid enough for this." As he brings basically, Minato with, and they go through Naruto's memories from the day he was born to the day of now, which by the time that's done, Kushina's angry, furious, as Minato is, just has deep shame on him, as Virgil says, "You see, you were an idiot to have faith in that village." But that old man Haruza in Saratopia felt some guilt, but then got rid of it right away, but it still grew. He still feels guilty for what he did to Naruto, as he should. but let Naruto basically be, well, his judge or executioner. As Kushina is basically crying and is angry, basically saying, how could they do that to my son, basically. As Virgil says, as you can see, what I said is true. People are fools to the end. If they did not have the power, they'd use someone else that would have it. They tried to make them basically submit to them by tactics that would be considered horrible. They only seen him as a weapon, while the villagers seen him as basically just a reminder of everything they lost, so they allow the villagers to take out their anger on Naruto. It is irritating and I'm furious with it. Well, yeah, I'm furious with what they've done. As Kushina just looks at basically the QB, well, not the QB, Virgil, and just says, fine, I'll take this deal. How long do we have left until Naruto finds whatever he needs to find? Which basically Virgil says, soon. I told him to head back to Wave Country. Head back to the bridge. As, she's just blinking as she goes, okay, so while that all happened, Naruto did rush, to the bridge as he basically, when they finish, they hear Naruto says, so, mysterious voice in my head. Where do I go now? Across the bridge? Around the bridge? Under it? Which Virgil sighs and be like, I had to give him my brother's attitude and making jokes about everything. He needed a personality. I'll get used to it. So, he basically says, basically walk on the bridge and act like you're heading back to the Wave Village. But before you even get there, about 10 feet when you basically are almost close to it, make a right and basically head through the forest that way. Straightforward, by the way. Which Naruto just says, alright, mysterious voice in my head, as he does so. As what happened is, when he's getting there, basically he sees looks like a sea all around them. And he goes, huh? What is this? Which Virgil says, the sea boy. Now, look to your right and head down basically, that way. As Naruto goes like, alright. Man, it sounds like you're in a rush. He goes, I am. We need you basically to retrieve what you need to get so we can fully basically talk. Which Naruto's like, okay. I'll make it easy and get some answers from you. By the way, the Shinigami and Minato left. Kushina already said goodbye to Minato, and she just said she was very disappointed in him, which hurt Minato. But anyways, so Naruto followed Virgil's commands, directions, as basically on the top of a little hill that would be looking, out to this basically sea that would allow them to go to basically an island that Naruto can see nearby. He sees basically a sword. And it looks like some leather straps wrapped around the sword holding basically some objects in it, which Naruto's like, huh? Which, Virgil then says, take it. Grab basically the sword handle and pull the sword out with all your might. Which Naruto's like, alright. Hopefully this doesn't end up in a trap and I don't get killed by some enemy rogue ninja. So, when Naruto basically grabs it, he feels some sort of power coming off of this sword as he's thinking, okay, this sword has some crazy power to it. Just by holding it, it's reacting to me. Why? As he starts pulling the sword and nothing's happening, as Naruto's starting to pull harder basically on the sword just to try to get it out of its hole that it made when it stabbed into the ground. As I would say, he then starts basically using all his newfound strength, and added a little bit of chakra to him. And then he just says, "Come on, get out of the stupid hole, you stupid sword!" As then he basically rips out the sword. And what happens is, though, he also caught the leather straps that are holding the two objects that are silver. Well, one silver and one black object in holsters. As Naruto's like, well, that took some time to get it out. The hole. Before he can say anything else, he basically, goes unconscious and falls backwards. And this is where the changes are starting. When Naruto basically opens up his eyes, he kind of sees the sewer. He goes, wait, I was in a grassy field. How did I get in this stupid sewer? As basically then, Virgil appears with Kushina walking beside him. He goes, easy, we are in your mindscape, Uzumaki Naruto. As Naruto gets up and basically holds out his hand, but there's no sword. He goes like, huh? Where's the sword? Which Virgil says, calm yourself. I'm here to explain everything to you. Though, you'll not like it. Which Naruto's like, huh, so you're the mysterious voice in my head. Nice to meet ya. Finally have a face. And, who's the pretty lady? Which Virgil just says, well, I was gonna say this for the meantime, but let's get this out of the way. Uzumaki Naruto, meet Uzumaki Kushina, your mother. As Naruto's blinking, and then he goes like, my mom? Huh. Before he can even say anything, Kushina comes up and runs up and hugs him, basically, and telling her how she's so sorry for leaving him, basically, and, just keeps on saying that as Naruto, is just holding her and crying silent tears as Virgil basically lets it happen as he closes his eyes. I would say about 3 minutes later, Virgil says, I don't want to basically break your basically lovely moment, but please, stop. We have a task that needs to be done. As Kushina basically looks at Virgil with a little bit of a glare, but nods though. As Naruto goes like, okay, Mr. Red and Black. What do I need to do? Or what you want to tell me? He just sighs and like, allow me to tell you what Konoha has done to you. And who is basically, end of your heritage, I will tell you. So, he tells him what Konoha did, as before he can ask why, they say it's because of his potential he had. He was, my potential? He was, yes, because you are. As then he basically tells him his true name, and then who his parents are. And then he asks, why did my dad seal basically the Nine Tails inside of me? And wait, where is the Nine Tails? As he's about to go look around, as Virgil chuckles, and before Naruto can even say anything, all of a sudden Nine Tails pop out, behind him through the jacket as they're waving back and forth. As Naruto goes like, "You're the Nine Tails?" He goes, "I'm also your basically great grandfather, from 1,000 or so years ago." Which Naruto's like, "Hold up, huh?" So he just sighs again and says, "This is gonna be a long day." So he explains basically who he is, who Dante was, and basically, what he's done along with Dante, and what happened, and telling how long he basically was gone for, the world, and basically been in the underworld, or Yomi, or basically his, what he knows as basically hell. And, well, yeah. He basically, Naruto just blinking goes like, so wait, I am your great, long-distance grandson, and my devil blood within me was weak, but yet strong, due to the fact of how potent it was. Virgil nods. He goes, so, because you broke the, loyalty seal that destroyed everything else, which Virgil nods again and says, correct. You gave me basically your brother's personality. It was also correct. And basically, you're willing to become my father and basically being with my mom. He goes, yes. Wow, this is one weird day. I have a joke, but I can't even say it and how basically crazy this is. As Virgil says, it'll get weirder from here on out. But it'll be fun. As not Dante, but as Naruto just smirks, he goes like, so, hold up. Okay, so as Naruto says, so, what's gonna happen now, Dad? He goes, simple. Your body's changing, and we're going to basically have to give you new clothes. So we're gonna go back to basically the town that's in, that you saved, and well, hopefully we can get some new clothes for you. Your hair color is changing. As Naruto's nodding, he goes, okay. What about you two? Basically, well, Virgil says as soon as I'm done with your basically changes and basically bring your devil blood back up to where I want it, I'll just leave the seal and then bring Kushina's soul out with me, make her body and such along for her clothing, put her soul into basically the body, and we'll go into town like I said. So, you ready for this, Naruto Uzumaki, Sparta, Namikaze? It was ready as I ever be. And so, with that, basically, when everything's finished up, Virgil does get out the seal, and basically does what he says. He basically used creation of all things, created basically Kushina's body, clothing, Ambu, and gave the soul basically put the soul in the body. A few minutes pass and Kushina wakes up. Naruto is basically groaning. He goes like, what hit me? As Virgil says, a whole lot of pain happened. Come on, let's get into basically back at the town. And so he gets up immediately and, well, walks, towards the town as Naruto goes like, already, basically being so commanding. And he looks like the Tem. When, basically, why do I always get the Tems? He goes, hey, Dad, wait up! As Naruto runs towards, Virgil, as Kushina just sighs and like, I can't believe I'm alive again. And I'm with Kyubi as my so-called husband. Great. Alright. Let's go basically buy my son clothing. So, they go do that. Meanwhile, with Konoha, they were searching for Naruto, and a retrieval team was made for Naruto. It was kept on the down low, and, well, they were out there and they're on the way with the scent. It was going towards Wave Country. And that's where we're going to leave it off, everyone. Hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.